from workplace dynamics to social movements. Relative deprivation unveiled. Relative deprivation, a psychological concept rooted in social comparison theory, intricately weaves through the fabric of human interactions, influencing both workplace dynamics and broader social movements. This exploration unveils the multifaceted nature of relative deprivation, providing easily understandable examples that traverse from the everyday scenarios of the workplace to the grand stages of social change. Understanding relative deprivation in the workplace. In the workplace, relative deprivation manifests when individuals perceive disparities in treatment, opportunities, or recognition compared to their peers. This psychological phenomenon can impact job satisfaction, motivation, and overall well-being. Example: promotion disparities. Consider a team where two colleagues, Alice and Bob, have similar qualifications and performance levels. If Alice is promoted while Bob is overlooked, Bob may experience relative deprivation. Despite their individual capabilities, the comparison to a peer who advances professionally can lead to feelings of unfairness and discontent. Social identity and workplace teams. The concept of social identity becomes pronounced in workplace teams. When team members identify with their group, relative deprivation intensifies if they believe their team is unfairly treated compared to other teams. Example: team recognition and social identity. Imagine two teams within a company achieving similar milestones. If one team is publicly recognized while the other is not, members of the latter may feel a sense of relative deprivation. The perceived disparity in acknowledgement triggers feelings of being undervalued compared to their peers in the recognized team. Economic disparities in the workplace. Economic inequalities within an organization contribute significantly to relative deprivation. When employees perceive disparities in salaries, benefits, or bonus structures, it can impact their sense of fairness and job satisfaction. Example: wage inequality in a company. In a company where the top executives receive substantial bonuses while frontline employees do not, the lower-level employees may experience relative deprivation. The comparison of financial rewards creates a perception of injustice and contributes to a sense of economic disparity within the workplace. Social movements and the spark of relative deprivation. Beyond the confines of the workplace, relative deprivation plays a pivotal role in fueling social movements. Large-scale movements often arise when groups of people perceive systemic injustices and disparities, sparking collective action. Example: civil rights movement. The civil rights movement in the United States is a historical example fueled by relative deprivation. African Americans, facing systemic discrimination and unequal treatment, mobilized to address the perceived disparity in basic rights and opportunities compared to their white counterparts. Economic disparities in Occupy Wall Street. Contemporary social movements, such as Occupy Wall Street, are rooted in the perceived economic disparities between the top 1% and the rest of the population. The movement was a response to the relative deprivation experienced by individuals who felt the economic system favored the elite at the expense of the majority. Media influence and relative deprivation. Media portrayal and coverage play a crucial role in amplifying feelings of relative deprivation. When individuals or groups perceive themselves as portrayed unfairly, it can contribute to a sense of injustice and mobilize them toward collective action. Example: media representation in LGBTQ+ movements. The LGBTQ+ rights movement has, in part, been driven by a sense of relative deprivation concerning media representation. When the media predominantly portrayed LGBTQ+ individuals in stereotypical or negative ways, it fueled a collective push for more accurate and positive representation. Global economic disparities and climate movements. On a global scale, relative deprivation contributes to movements addressing economic disparities and environmental concerns. Developing nations may perceive themselves as disproportionately affected by climate change, sparking calls for global justice. Example: climate activism and global inequality. TH-led climate movements, exemplified by figures like Greta Thunberg, are fueled by a sense of relative deprivation concerning the impact of climate change. Activists argue that developing nations, often with lower contributions to environmental degradation, bear the brunt of its consequences, emphasizing the need for global equity. Conclusion: relative deprivation, whether observed in workplace dynamics or inspiring social movements, is a potent force shaping human behavior. Recognizing its influence in both the microcosm of daily work life and the macrocosm of global movements is essential for understanding societal dynamics. By acknowledging and addressing perceived disparities, whether within teams or on a global scale, we can strive towards creating environments that foster fairness, equality, and collective well-being. As relative deprivation continues to be a driving force in shaping the narratives of workplaces and societies, understanding its dynamics becomes a crucial aspect of navigating the complexities of human interaction and societal change. World.